in today's video, with the season coming to an end, I will be reaching P300, but my main teammate for most of the tournament, Sander, is just sort of the points he needs. So we are entering one last tournament, first and foremost to help him reach P300 as well, and then who knows. Our first match was against Eve and Steven. The first thing we noticed was that Steven was really tall, so we had to be extra careful with our lobs. Aside from that, both of them were athletic players with a solid all-around game. They came out strong and really pushed us at the start, which caught us off guard. But after a few good rallies and points, we found our rhythm and started applying more pressure, holding the net for a longer period. The game was evenly matched, with solid points coming from both teams. We looked for openings wherever we could and tried to mix things up to change the pace. Once we found our rhythm, we made it a point to go all out whenever we got an easy ball. In previous tournaments, we were often too focused on avoid mistakes, just returning the ball safely, which kept us under pressure and made it easier for our opponents to defend. This time, we decided to play freely and aggressively. Mistakes are part of the game, but they should never stop you from playing your style. When you are at the net and the opportunity comes, you have to take it and make it the most out of it. One more thing we've been working on is not only pushing forward after lobs. That's a great and safe strategy, especially in the beginning. But as you progress, you will notice that everyone is doing whatever they can to take and hold the net. So it becomes important to work on your transition game using other shots too. For example, hitting the ball low and close to your opponent's feet can force a high return, and that gives you the chance to move in step by step and take control. As we mentioned before, variety is key. I always try to keep in mind that after hitting a few hard shots, it's smart to mix in a softer one with lower bounce, especially when both opponents are moving forward expecting another smash. That change of pace can really throw them off and open up new opportunities. Something I hadn't really faced before was opponents staying deep after a lob gave us chance to attack. Instead of rushing the net, they stayed back waiting for our shot. Sometimes that worked for them, but with good communication, Sander would always let me know when they weren't coming forward. That gave me the confidence to go for more aggressive shot with extra spin, knowing they weren't at the net ready to block it. The game was going well, but it was still tough for us to beat them. They had some great shots too, like Steven's Bahada and that height shot from Eve to my backhand, which gave me no time to react and force a difficult return. In the end though, our aggressive play paid off and we secured our first win on the tournament. Overall, it was a great match. We got the mental boost and the confirmation we needed that our strategy was working. Now it's time to move on to the next one. In our second game, we are up against Rafael and Mark, both players with tennis experience and a strong ground game, which put us on the spot right from the start. They both had great wrist action and solid defense. We did our best to move them around and push them out of their comfort zone. That helped create openings we could take advantage of either to win the point directly or force a mistake. You could also see how skilled they were at placing the ball with precision, then following up with full power shots that gave us no time to react. Just like the previous game, hitting low balls at their feet was our best bet. setting us up to follow their lead full powerful shots. Rafael's overheads were something new for us. Pure wrist power that kept us on our toes trying to reach the ball. But the good news is, we were well prepared, and whenever his masses weren't perfect, we were able to secure the point. I've watched this point over and over, thinking about all the options and shots I could have played. I could give you a million chances, and you still wouldn't guess what I actually went for. To top off my amazing performance, our opponents also come back to back with two amazing smashes. Cleaning my mind from the previous points, I answered with a nice shot after a bit of miscommunication, and then Sander followed up with a great smash. Playing tennis doubles though definitely makes them a real threat in volley battles, as you can see. No matter what, here is one more example of how effective it is when you keep finding space and making your opponents move. Forcing them to make quick decisions to cover the gaps often leads to those great openings. One mistake I still make is trying to surprise the opponent with a risky shot after moving out of position. It rarely works and often leaves too much space open, costing us the point. Still, our defense and attack were on point at this stage. We won some solid points and kept control throughout the match, which led to our second win of the tournament and a spot in tomorrow's knockout phase. Our mindset is strong, and no matter what, we are going to give it our all to secure all 3 points today and finish first in the group. And here we are, last but certainly not least. We are facing Bart and Thomas, both aggressive players with really solid technique. And they got off to a great start, keeping us guessing between soft and powerful shots. They were also incredibly fast, saving most shots and making us work extra hard to secure each point, until Sander sealed it with an amazing placement shot. Still though, trying to lob difficult balls was definitely the wrong choice, and with back-to-back smashes, they made it clear we wouldn't get away with decisions like that. They started strong, and their overhead game was on point, putting us on a lot of trouble early on. In this great rally, you can really see how well they defend every ball. We tried to keep one under pressure and catch the other by surprise whenever possible, mostly aiming at their backhands to make things more difficult. We applied the same strategy here, putting in extra effort to keep them away from the net so we can be less in danger. In points like this, I really try to learn and recognize my weaknesses even when I win the point. An easy ball came my way and I hit it horribly. Maybe I was too tense. It should have landed back in my court, but instead I got lucky with the rebound of the fence and won the point. Facing another left-handed player is always a great challenge for me, but having Sander take full advantage by playing down the line makes things much easier. And here, on a second chance, I was able to correct my previous mistake. And once again, showing how effective it is to mix hard and soft shots. Here, on the second serve, Sander took a risk and it paid off. We immediately regained the net and started applying pressure, forcing an easy ball to finish the point by 4. Another great rally. Their defense was incredible, but we did our part by holding the net as long as possible and staying aggressive. To finish the point, I tried to kick the ball out, but the technique wasn't great, so it didn't bounce much. Still, it was enough to win the point. And to finish things off, we closed the match with two beautiful shots placed perfectly into the corner. No chance for a return. That sealed our final win of the day. We couldn't be happier with our performance, the energy we brought, and how our strategy paid off throughout the group stage. It's been a solid day of paddle, and now we are fired up and looking forward to the next phase of the tournament. So, second day today, we are getting ready. The challenge is already completed. Sander will also become 300, so that's perfect. And we focus on today's games. We start immediately from the semifinals because there are not a lot of teams joining up. So we have semifinals and then who knows. Day 2, and we are ready to step things up. The rules are different. Matches are now best of 3 sets, with each set played to 6 games. Carrying the momentum from yesterday, we came in strong and delivered a very solid performance on the first set, winning 6-1. Things were looking good, but in the second set, our opponents loosened up and started playing more aggressively. We had a few off moments and they took advantage, pushing us harder. Throughout the game, we also scored some solid points, but in the end, they didn't add up to the result we wanted. We were constantly pushing for more, refusing to back down. There were several moments when we genuinely felt we had the upper hand, feeling confident, in control and ready to close it out. But our opponent stayed sharp, reading our game well and finding clever ways to answer back with some incredible shots. Their resilience kept us on our toes and made every point a battle. It was just small details, tiny mistakes and missed opportunities that kept adding up and held us back from reaching the full potential of our game. As you can see, we really tried our best, mixing up our shots and strategies to turn things around, but it just wasn't enough. They maintained the upper hand throughout the entire second set, dominating the rallies and forcing errors from us. Unfortunately, we ended up losing that set 6-1, which meant that match was heading into a super tiebreak. For those who might not be familiar, a super tiebreak is like a regular tiebreak but played to 10 points instead of 7. It's a quicker way to decide the match and keep the tournament moving efficiently. Now everything was on the line. One final intense battle to see who would come out on top. We left everything behind and focused fully on the moment. We recalled our previous strategies and played freely, giving it our absolute best. Our defense was sharp once again, forcing our opponents to try new tactics to break us, which ultimately gave us the upper hand. One thing I really want to take away from all this is my mentality. In the past, I would have gotten anxious, completely changed my playing style, stuck only to safe options and carried the burden of the previous set on my shoulders. But this time it was different. I'm finally starting to achieve what I've been aiming for. staying relaxed and playing as well as I do in my friendly games during the week. No matter the result, that was a huge personal win for me. So with all that, and Sander playing at the top of his game, the result we wanted finally came. And now we are heading to the finals. Unfortunately, my camera was a bit too packed and I didn't realize it had stopped filming partway through the final. We had a great performance, so it's literally a shame not to have more footage. But it's a lesson learned. I also want to apologize to our opponents for not having more highlights to share from such an important match. Overall, we had some great rallies and managed to keep the upper hand throughout the final. We won the tournament, exactly the momentum we needed to head into the next season at full speed. Thank you so much for sticking around, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one.